We got 10 days till Valentine's.
Yes, very true. So yeah, welcome to Feed the Street this Wednesday, February 4th. When is it going back to Tuesdays, by the way, Cody?
It's either the 9th or the 9th.
I think it's the 19th.
Okay. So sometime this month it'll be going back to Tuesdays. So I guess be ready for that. So again, John Reynolds, RollILocal.com. We're here at Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and More, home of the world famous hand-pressed hamburger patties, fresh cut fries, shakes made from hand-scooped ice cream, 1232 Commerce and Longview. We have Adam Fithan, did I say that right?
Fitham.
Fithan, okay.
Close.
So
It's phonetically
the
right.
H is,
Watch for
the
Brian.
H is gone as far as pronunciation. So Adam Fithan, right? I just go Adam, probably easier for me.
That's fine. That's what most people call me.
That works. It's like me, I'm usually just John, right? So, yeah, I know you're with the Drug Court.
Yes.
Amazing program.
Yeah, thank you.
Talked a little bit about it last time. In case this is the first time somebody's watching this, the first time maybe they've heard of Drug Court, maybe a good place to start is what is Drug Court?
Drug Court is a superior court agency, and we encompass treatment and the courts into one to help people with recovery. So if somebody comes in, they have eligible charges for it. Usually they're drug-related charges, either straight up a BUCSA, which is a violation of the Controlled Substance Act, having drugs on them.
Yeah, is that okay?
That's great.
We're just still recording and stuff. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
So
no
make sure
problem
that
at
it's
all.
actually still going.
Yeah, I know.
right?
I was wondering. the
Somebody
same thing.
watching out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
saw
go ahead.
the back of something pop up on the
Yeah,
screen there.
exactly. I'm like, are we okay?
So so in the program, they are legally, we have legal jurisdiction over them to supervise them through the courts, but they're required to go to treatment as required by the court, attend court on a regular scheduled basis. And then if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they can be held accountable to it. So we use a system of incentives and sanctions. So, obviously,
And it's a voluntary program
It
from the
is.
standpoint that if they, choose to go to jail, they could do that if they wanted to.
Right,
but
right.
If they really want to get better and get an improvement, then drug
Yeah.
court is an option. It's also voluntary on your guys' side too, as
Yeah.
to who qualifies.
It goes both ways. So there's standard qualifications that need to be met. You have to have a charge, like I said, a drug-related charge. That could be theft, things along those lines that are caused primarily because people are in addiction.
What do you mean, possession for something that's
Possession.
illegal substance
Yeah,
would
yeah.
probably be enough, right?
Possession,
Okay.
theft, trafficking, those kinds of things. It has to meet the requirements. Trafficking and stolen properties, I should say. It has to meet the requirements, and then the defense attorney will send us a referral. Say this person's interested in drug court. We send it over to the prosecuting attorney's office. They take a look at it, and if they meet the legal requirements, then they'll send it back to us approved. If they don't, they'll send it back to us denied. And then we do an intake with them. If they meet the standards for needing treatment, then they're qualified for the program.
That's not like a crazy question, but let's say somebody's out there and they want help, they need help, but they haven't committed a crime. I mean, obviously that's not through drug court because they have to
Right,
commit a crime.
right. Our programs for people that are
Is there
facing-
resources out there for that person?
Oh,
I mean,
tons.
I assume there
Of
probably is.
resources. Tons of resources.
So they don't have to
There's-
go out and rob a house to
No.
get help.
They could walk
So-
into any treatment facility, tell them that they need help. There's a lot of, because of the Affordable Care Act, there's a lot of options for people that don't have insurance to get that. And the people at various treatment agencies are well equipped to help somebody get set up with the insurance so they can go there. It's a lot easier now. So I would say if you're out there and you need help, don't commit a crime to get into drug court. You don't need to do that. You can go to, there are multiple, we use DAPC, Awakenings, and the Tribe in our various programs. But, so I'm familiar with those, but there are other ones out there, and just, I would say find a treatment program that works for you. But another place to look is NAAA. If you're struggling with substance abuse, those are a great place to go. You can just walk into the 1414 Club and they'll help you out. You don't need to know anything about recovery. The only requirement to attend NA or AA is the desire to stop using or the desire to stop drinking.
So that people that go into drug court, is treatment automatically a part of it? Does it depend kind of the situation? Okay, so they do all get treatments. That's
Yeah,
good. Okay.
yeah, it's 100%. It's the same program that everyone goes through, no matter what their level is.
Okay.
So they'll start out in intensive outpatient, and then as they progress through that, the first 90 days, then after that they'll go into outpatient for 6 months, which is less treatment time. And then in phase 3, it's aftercare, so it's only once every 3 weeks or once a month. And then their court, the amount of time that they're supposed to go to court is weekly at the start, and then it diminishes to once a month.
Okay.
So we kind of wean them through the program. They get hit with lots of requirements in the beginning, and then they're weaned through the program. And we also require 12-step and sober support groups. NAAA are the most common ones, but there's other ones out there.
So now, is there, I guess with this too, other than committing the crime and then qualifying on all of those lines, is there income requirements? Do they have to pay for it? Is it covered by tax and fundraising?
There are, because it's in the legal system, we're, you know, we are part of Superior Court. There are financial requirements with it, and it's actually $1,075 is the set number for being in drug court. That's actually cheaper than if you take a plea or take another half of your charges. Sure. So it's and then if there's restitution, so if they stole something of monetary value and owe that back to a victim, then that gets added on top of that. We have a cap of $2,500 restitution. So if it's higher than that, we can't accept it for the program because, you know, the program's about a year to 15 months. So, yeah, I mean, people can do it longer. They're not kicked out of the program if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But we've just found that when people owe that much restitution, it takes a long time to get it paid off. So they're done with all the treatment requirements, except they're trying to pay that off.
So the $1,075, is that something they got to pay to get into the program, or is that something they pay as they go over time?
As they go, we don't require any payments in phase 1.
Okay.
Because we don't want to burden them out with that. They can make payments, but they're not required to. And then we require a minimum of $25 a month in phase 2 on. Of course, they would have to pay more than that to graduate within a year to 15 months, but that's kind of the minimum that we require there.
Is there requirements on source of funds? I mean, obviously nothing illegal, but I mean, can they get it from friends, family?
They can get it from anywhere that's legal. I would say, you know, you can get, we had one person who got through drug court. He mowed lawns and did odd jobs for people and paid off his entire fine doing that.
Great.
So in phase 3, we do require them to either have a job, a part-time job, 25 hours a week, volunteering if they can't find a job, or going to school full-time.
Okay.
So, or a combination of those.
Good.
So they can find 15 hours a week and they can volunteer another 10 hours. So the idea is to get them kind of into this normal routine.
Well, it feels like a better path of continued success too to have
It is.
a plan for the future.
Absolutely, and the research really shows that. We recently had a research done on our program. I didn't even think to talk about that today. I would have brought some of it with me, but some very interesting numbers about our program in particular. The graduation rate is really high. The recidivism rate is low. I guess you would say recidivism. It's not a word that many people know, but that's
Re-entry, right?
Yeah, that's re-entry into. So if you commit a crime, recidivism is then doing another crime and ending up in the legal system again. So we have a pretty high rate of people being successful in the program and not ending up back in the system. So the benefit is there's a huge cost benefit because these people who would have gone to jail or to prison, where the daily rate of housing is really high, they're able to do the drug court program, get treatment for it, and stay, most of them stay clean beyond that, stay in recovery. And I run into people all the time who've been through the program that have years of clean time or doing great. That's not always the case. I mean, I can't say that is for everyone. Some people make it through the program and they don't continue to stay clean, but they have done what the court requires and they graduate from the program. But you know, that's the choice that people have to make. But the reason we require them to be involved in 12-step and NAA is that that's really, you know, treatment kind of gives you the knowledge and the foundation. But lasting recovery really comes from those recovery communities and having a great support.
Oh, you really want people that are interested in a long-term future without drugs. I mean, that's what the whole program's about, right?
It is. And I'd say I'll take anybody no matter what their reason, as long as they'll do the program. So we have plenty of people that have started the program. Their intent is just to get out of jail and get through the program so that they can go back to their old behaviors. But something, if they're doing what we ask them to do, something usually clicks along the way.
Because I could see that happen for some people that maybe didn't go in with the right intentions, but come out going, wow, you know, actually this is pretty cool living a life without drugs and crime and whatever else.
And that's why we require people to get a job or to volunteer or to be going to school because it shows them what else there is. to grasp on that.
Give them a chance to fight for some goals and actually push for some things.
Yeah. Once they've made that struggle through 12, 15 months, sometimes more too. We've got someone in the program who's working on 4 years right now just because they're working on getting their fines off. I'm doing great, you know. So it's they're not a burden on the program, but they're doing really good in the program.
So I'm curious.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but once they've invested that much time into their recovery,
Thank you very much,
then
Lynn.
it's a hard choice
You're
to go
welcome.
backwards.
Have a good
So we want to make the choice harder to go backwards than it
And
is.
probably some of the counseling gets into things like, I mean, I've always heard some of the toughest things, I think, for a lot of people in these situations is to give up the old friends
Mhm.
because, you know, when you're with friends, you do whatever it is you guys do as a group. And is that part of the counseling too? Is that
It is, and I think, and we always encourage people when they first come in the program, you know, people that you used with, you cannot hang out with them anymore. Because I would say the number one reason we have relapse is because people run into old acquaintances.
Sure.
And they find themselves thinking that they can handle it, and they find themselves back in relapse pretty quickly. So we always encourage that. And the great thing about Drug Court is that there's over 100 people in the program right now. And so when you're involved in that, it becomes kind of this community. So you have these friends, you make new friends, you make this new support community with people that are going through the same thing that you are. So it's beneficial in that respect that here's kind of a self-made program with friends that are people that are already doing good that are willing to be your friends.
That's awesome.
And help you out. So
That's awesome. So gosh, what was I thinking there? I had something there. If I come back. So actually, what's your role with Drug Court? What's your piece?
I'm the Drug Court Programs Manager with Therapeutic Court. We're kind of moving in a way of calling them therapeutic courts. That's become more of a term to use with it. But I'm the programs manager. We have 3 different programs. So I oversee all of the programs for the therapeutic courts. There's the adult drug court, which is the largest, which has over 100 people in it right now. There is the juvenile drug court for minors who are on the drug court program for them. And then there's the dependency program. These are for parents who, it's called Hope Court. These are for parents that are facing having their children taken away or have had their children taken away due to drug-related or substance abuse-related issues. And so it's a program that they can do. We work with CPS and the courts and treatment in order to get them in a spot where they can be better suited to get their children back. And most of the clients who, I'd say all the clients that complete our program get their children back full time and are closed out from CPS. So it's an opportunity for the judge to get them to know them better, for them to have that support and really just have a better guiding light of where they're going with that. And so we see a lot of reunification with that, and it's a really rewarding program.
That's awesome. I know the question I was saying earlier is expunging. Is that a part of the process? I mean, do they keep that criminal record? Does that go away as a part of the process?
Any criminal record they had prior, they do keep. With what the benefit of drug court is, besides the treatment, the benefit to the community that it offers is for the client. They're not sentenced. So they enter into the program prior to being found guilty or sentenced.
Sure.
And so the charge kind of ends there. And then if they complete the program, they graduate, then that gets dismissed.
Wow.
So it's not on their record.
That's a pretty big.
It's a huge benefit, especially for people who don't have a felony previously.
Sure.
So that's a huge benefit to not have that on their record.
That brings me to another question: is the program limited to misdemeanors or felonies? This is a felony.
It's a felony program. It's actually a felony program.
Okay, so it's felony.
Yeah, we don't typically take misdemeanors into it. They sometimes a crime is committed with a felony is committed with a misdemeanor alongside it.
Gotcha.
So you could have drugs on you, which is a felony. You could have illegal substances, heroin or methamphetamine on you, and then you commit a theft 3 while you have that on you. So the police are called on you with a theft 3. They find the drugs. The drugs are a felony. The theft 3 is a misdemeanor, but they're all charged at the same time. So that's kind of how we take misdemeanor on.
Okay.
But if you strictly had a theft 3, you wouldn't be eligible for the program.
Now, what if the person was just, I don't know, hypotheticals? I remember last time it doesn't have to be an illegal substance. So what if somebody was drunk and did a theft 3? I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
Possibly qualify, or?
It doesn't happen often. Most alcohol-related crimes are DUIs.
Gotcha.
But it does happen on occasion, and we are equipped. Substance is substance, and we are equipped to help anyone, no matter what the substance is. So we do have people in our program that alcohol is their main substance of abuse. They may have been caught for some other reason, but alcohol is their main substance of abuse. And they go through the AA program and the same kind of treatment that everybody else does. But it's not as common. I mean, really, we do deal with people that are struggling with other illegal substances.
Yeah. That's a pretty incredible reward that they, don't have to worry about that felony on their record.
Yeah.
The felony is, substantial.
It can close a lot of doors too.
Yeah.
It's more difficult to find
I work
employment.
with companies that I will not hire anybody with a felony.
And it's unfortunate,
Yeah.
especially if the person is in recovery. I've learned so much from this job. I myself am not somebody who struggles with addiction, but there is a stigma on people in recovery, and even people that are using, people that are in recovery, and it's sad because I do look at addiction as a disease, not as a choice. It's not, people don't choose this life or choose to be addicted. They get addicted, and some people are more prone to it than others.
Oh, and I compare it too. I think most people, and I could be wrong in this, but I feel like most people have it in them to be addicted. You know what I mean? But,
Oh, absolutely.
For whatever reason, the choices were made differently. And I give my best example, to Pepsi, and most people probably laugh at this.
Yeah.
Like, well, Pepsi is not alcohol, it's not whatever. But, as many times as I've tried to get rid of it, I just keep coming back, and I drink way too much of the stuff. And so, I feel fortunate it's not something like alcohol or something else. But most people probably could relate to Starbucks or whatever favorite coffee shop they might have.
Starbucks here.
People
Coke.
drink that sometimes. and you can't
Coca-Cola,
go away
sorry,
with that.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
not the-
Coca-Cola, yeah.
that's-
But
Those are
some people
mine.
have these addictions or even food addictions, things that they have to get certain amounts of sugar or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think most people
so
are
I think
addicted to
it's-
something and don't
yeah.
even think about it.
Yeah.
Caffeine, definitely.
Caffeine's
a lot
number
of people
one.
are. And,
Sure, yeah.
if you don't get your caffeine for a day and you get a headache, like me,
Oh yeah, me too.
you're
Yeah.
addicted to caffeine.
Yeah.
It's just that the impact
Yeah.
on our body is so much more minor
Yeah.
than other substances. It doesn't impact our ability to continue in our daily lives and interactions
No.
with people. So that's why it's not a substance that has the same harm as other substances.
Exactly.
We don't steal so we can get our Diet Coke. you know?
Exactly. It's easier
We
to
can
get.
scrounge
it's
up a
more
buck and
affordable,
go to
it's-
McDonald's
exactly.
and get a large Diet Coke.
Exactly.
In a while. So, it's these other vices, especially the ones that are legal, don't have the social stigma that illegal ones do, but really addiction is addiction.
And that's why I think I really don't condemn people for it as much, because a lot of people do, is because I think it's in all of us. I really do. Or most of us. Again, I'm using, examples like, caffeine that most of us can relate to, because I think, like I've always, I've seen enough addiction in my family bloodline, with alcohol especially, that I'm extra careful of it. I have a healthy fear for it, because I've seen how I am with caffeine, and I'm like, okay, could that parallel over to here?
Right.
I just don't touch the stuff very often.
Yeah.
I just, have a fear of it. I don't know how else to say it. So once or twice a year is more than enough for me.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what.
Yeah.
That's how I am with alcohol too.
Yeah.
It's not an issue to me. I
Sure.
don't have a drink and I don't desire it anymore.
and it's probably tougher. I don't know, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, or just some of your thoughts on this, but, being in your environment, probably in some ways, at least for me, it would probably make me more cautious. Like, I don't want to go down that
Absolutely.
path.
Absolutely. And respectful, if I'm at a restaurant and I see that one of our clients are there,
Sure.
I won't order something to drink.
Yeah.
I rarely do anyway, but
Yeah.
that's all the more reason I wouldn't. And it's not that I can't, but just out of respect.
I get that. Yeah, like I've got a good friend that doesn't eat pork, and it's for religious reasons. And so if we're eating together,
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't
order
work.
the bacon.
Yeah,
cheeseburger,
I just
right.
don't do it.
It's
I
just-
mean,
it's
it's
respectful.
pretty easy to give up for one meal, and the next time I'll get the bacon on there or
Yeah.
whatever, So
Yeah, I I have friends that are in recovery from alcohol. And
Yeah.
it's not, and they say they're okay with it, but
Sure.
for me, it's just I'm not comfortable doing that, just out of respect for them. So,
same here. Yeah.
but one of the points I wanted to make about addiction, where I said that it was a disease, is I equated a lot of times to diabetes. Where
Sure.
diabetes, some versions of diabetes are very controllable if you're taking your insulin, you're eating right. Well, it's the same thing with substance abuse. If you're doing what you need to be doing on a daily basis, then you can stay clean from it. But as soon as you stop doing what you need to do, and a lot of that is NA, AA, working the steps, those kinds of things, that's kind of your insulin. That's what you need to be able to stay clean and stay healthy. But you know, if you stop taking your insulin or eating the wrong foods when you have diabetes, you're not going to be healthy. And so that's what I compared it to. If you had diabetes, you would get help for it. If you have substance abuse, you would get help for it.
Which takes me, I'm kind of on a tangent, and I won't stay there for long because our show's about this, but, you know, I've often thought, you know, for people with, you know, different, well, even myself included, I mean, I know what I need to eat, but I don't eat it.
Yeah.
You know, I almost think there should be, you know, maybe there is facilities like this where you go in and you know what you want to eat and you get kind of that help with the mental side of it, for lack of a better term.
Well, you know, there is
Yeah.
Overeaters Anonymous also, you know.
Right on,
And
right
so
on.
there are support groups for whatever your vice is. And
Like, for me, I'd
know-
like to go vegan because of some other medical things
Uh-huh.
and stuff, but it's, I mean, gosh, it's hard to stick with.
But when you
For me.
find yourself a support
So,
group,
yeah.
and then you're here and there's so much good food here.
Oh,
It's the
I
best
know.
of Montana.
Like, I love burgers that are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely made from animal. They're not, they're not
But,
vegan.
You know, I would recommend anybody who has a vice that they're struggling with giving up and they know they need to. There are groups for that to help with that.
That's cool.
Whether it's
I'll take a look at
alcohol, drugs, or overeating, there's lots. There might be a caffeine anonymous. I don't know.
That'd probably be a good idea. Gosh, I mean, as a society, man, the amount of caffeine and sugar that we're taking now, and they kind of go hand in hand. Most people don't do caffeine without sugar. If you really think about it. Most people aren't drinking black coffee, for example. Soda pop always has sugar in it, of course, or fake sugar, which is actually probably worse for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they just seem to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, you know, one thing I think is really neat about the drug court, I mean, certainly, you know, there's the benefit from the legal side and the treatment side, which is great. But I think it's really unique in how they reward people along the way for hitting milestones. Maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we have multiple ways to reward. We're always looking for ways to reward people, and if anyone has ideas that we can incorporate in, I'm glad to hear them. But a couple of things that we do. Well, one is when you hit your 30 days, we give them a 30-day coin at court. They can, you know, present that to them in court. 30 days, 60-day, 90-day, 6 month, 1 year, 9 month, 1 year, 18 months, 2 years. Hopefully they've graduated by then, but if not, there's a 3-year coin also. I haven't had to give a 4-year coin out, but I might have to soon if this person doesn't, they're close to graduating. I think they might be graduating soon. But so yeah, we reward them with coins. That's kind of the mile marks, and you know, people get those coins, and we encourage them to keep them with them, and you know, have them, and as they build those coins up in the recovery and the friends and the community, they don't want to step backwards, back to square one with their days. You know, it's not back to square one with their recovery because they haven't lost what they've learned, but you know, it's devastating to have 18 months and relapse, and you know, and that's devastating for people, but it happens because addiction is a disease.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that happens. So that's one way we reward them. We have I came up with a gold star system that I thought was going to be really corny. It is corny. We call it the Superstar Award, or a Superstar Gold Punch Card. So we give gold stars at court. So peers can nominate peers. People on the team can nominate them. The treatment providers, you know, if somebody's doing good or they notice them do something good, then they'll get a gold star in court. So the judge will tell them that they got a gold star for doing this. So, you know, and we've had, I think our record is 4 gold stars. So if they get 5, they get a $5 gift card.
Okay.
I think our record was 4 at court. Twice we had people get 4.
Wow.
You know, because if they do, between coming to court and the next time they go to court, if they do multiple good things, we don't want to just give them 1 star. We want to reward each one of them.
That makes sense.
So those, it depends on where you are. You know, if you're at the beginning of the program, sometimes just getting through the week without having a relapse or missing services, that's where the gold stars. But if you're later in the program, it's usually things like helping out your peers, you know, get to groups and different things like that. So you know, there's no hard and fast rule as to why someone would get a star. There are some things that are more obvious. So
And the first week is the toughest for anything like this, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
First couple of weeks
body's
are so hard.
detoxing.
Yeah.
From, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what they were doing prior to opting in.
Oh, sure.
We've had people in all different states, you know, they've opted in and they've been using right up to their opt-in date. We've had people opt in and they've already got 6 months or more clean time. But for circumstances, because the court system can move slow sometimes, so they're just now opting in on it. So
That's got to be huge though when you got somebody that comes in that's already got some time under their belt. I mean,
yeah, we've had multiple times. Sometimes they'll get in trouble and that is enough to stop them from
Sure.
using.
So
So
talk
they,
about rock bottom. You know,
Yeah.
hitting that
so
bottom
they get in
every
trouble
day.
and they decide from that moment, I don't like this, I'm not going to use anymore. And then they get into drug court, which helps to get their felony off their record, and they do great in the program. So sometimes, I mean, you know, but there's always that chance of having a relapse. But
Absolutely.
I think we see a lot of people get to a really strong spot, and I think that's proven through the record of people staying clean past graduation.
Let's talk about funds a little bit. I know certainly taxpayer is part of it, but there's also, I understand, a fundraising piece of it too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There are things that taxpayers shouldn't have to and don't pay for. So when we have events,
The tabloids.
we have a barbecue every summer, we have a Christmas party where we provide all the kids with Christmas gifts, and we've done bowling in the past, things like that. But anything like that has to be provided through donations. So we don't spend taxpayer money on that. The incentives, we are able to, but as far as events and things like that, because the incentives are essential for providing an atmosphere to it.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. I think the events
people-
actually are too.
Oh,
but
they
not
are.
everybody would probably agree.
Yeah, not everybody can
So,
make it, things like that, but the incentives are, research has shown they're essential. I
can
mean,
see that.
people, sanctions are important.
Sure.
You know, quick, and we don't carry them out. You know, it's, if you do something, we do the sanction as quickly as possible, and that's the most effective. I mean, it's like parenting. Anybody who knows the sanction reward system for parenting, but the rewards are paramount. People will
I believe that.
work hard for rewards. Everybody wants recognition. I want recognition. Everyone does. We thrive on that. So it's the recognition that you're doing good. It can really be so much more of a motivator than fear of a sanction. So the hope for recognition is really, really important. But yeah, we do fundraisers, we solicit funds. We had a wonderful holiday party in December. Lots of donations for gifts and door prizes. I think every child and everybody who attended it left with something.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was great. We have some great people who help us out with that stuff. We have a parent who's really provides a lot of cookies at graduations and provided a lot of stuff for the Christmas party, and just, you know,
That's cool.
it's really, so if you ever see us out there doing or trying to get donations, that's why we do it. It all goes back to the clients and events that we do and gifts and things like that. So it is important to us.
Yeah, I believe so too. Yeah, I remember my first experience with, first and only, I guess, experience with drug court. So everybody knows only experience, but I was part of Leadership Academy.
Okay.
And I had never even heard of drug court until then, but we went in there and actually got to be on a day where they were actually holding the court portion of it and everything. And you know, it really left a lasting impression in my mind on how important the program is and really the impact it makes. And so, I'm sure I was going with that, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
We have court. It's every Thursday at 3:00. Usually it's in courtroom 3. Sometimes it's in 2. It just depends on where they can fit us into in the schedule of what's going on. But it's open to the public. Anyone's welcome to come and check it out if you want to come check it out. So, and you can see, you know, some people are getting in trouble, other people, but most people are being praised for the work that they're doing. So, majority of people are doing.
And I would encourage anyone to go in there and check it out, because I think, you know, sometimes, you know, I think, first of all, I think probably a smaller percentage than most would expect even are aware of the program. And those that do know, there's probably a decent percentage of those that may not understand the value of the program. Yeah. But if you go in there, I think most people that go in even just for one court session quickly see the value of the program.
And we'll have the research that's been done, and that's done locally. That's with our program. It's not a nationwide research. We will eventually have that up on our, I think, probably early March. Awesome. We'll have that up on the Superior Court website under the therapeutic courts. Because we want the public to be able to see that. There's really good results in that. We want the public to know about our program and the importance of our program and what it does for the community. We're taking people that would go to jail or prison and get out and most likely continue to live a lifestyle they were doing before they went to jail or prison.
Sure.
With drug court, we try to break that cycle. So that breaks that cycle not just for them, but for their family, their children. We've had significant others and other family members get into recovery because their loved one was in drug court, and told them they can't do this with them in their lives. And so they get into recovery to stay in their lives. So it has a ripple effect. It's not just the people in the program, but the people that love those people and are around those people. So
when you think about it too, you take somebody that, take the drugs aside, you look at it, you got somebody that started as it's probably a negative impact on society if they're committing crime, obviously, to get into the program, to someone that is now working and making a positive contribution to society. And obviously, drugs was the only factor there. But I think it's pretty cool in the end that you take somebody that was a negative impact to a positive impact.
Well, and all of us have been negatively impacted by drugs.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
who hasn't had their car broken into, or vandalism, or those are all a result of that. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. I mean, prices in stores go up because people are stealing things from the store. So that's an impact on the society. So we're not going to have a positive impact on it. And one of the things we're trying to do also, above and beyond the statistics to show that this works and the positive impact on people's lives, and I can name dozens and dozens or more people that are doing excellent, that were, what we would consider to be a drain on society, that are now very positive members of the community that you wouldn't even know had struggled with addiction or do struggle with addiction. But one of the things we're trying to do is have Drug Court be more active in community service and volunteering, because we want our clients to be giving back to the community. So as sanctions, we're doing less and less jail days and more community service.
Good.
Because I don't like to use community service as a punishment, but it's just it's an option other than jail that allows them to get back to the community. So we encourage them to do community service on their own accord. We'll bank those hours. So in case they have a minor violation that they get a community service sanction for, if they bank the hours they did on their own accord already, then they can turn those in and be a wash. So, those are the kind of things we try to do to encourage it. And we actually have an AmeriCorps member who is working in our office doing volunteer and activities. So that's her job, is to hook our clients up with volunteer opportunities, organize volunteer service projects for them to do those kinds of things and activities. And so that's, where our programs are growing big, and we're accommodating that. But AmeriCorps has been great for that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was thinking about, funding, and, obviously funding's down for almost everything in today's, economy and everything. Is there any discussion about, looking at additional sources of funding from the taxpayers? I know at one point they looked at the 0.1%.
The 1/10 of 1%. Yeah.
Which I believe is there. Oh, did it go through? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember that. Okay, good.
So where we're at now is let's see here, how long has it been? It's been about 4.5 years.
Okay.
We got a grant for the drug court programs, and it was $1 million grant between our office and treatment.
Okay.
And so that allowed us to expand a lot of the reach that we had and really helped us to grow. And that was a 3-year grant, which actually we got extended to about 3.5 years because there was money left and we could apply for an extension. So we had that money, which paid for a case manager and paid for a lot of benefits and incentives for the clients.
Where'd the grant come from?
That was a federal grant.
Okay.
DJA and SAMHSA are the
So if I didn't have a repay then on it?
No,
It was strictly.
yeah, it was strictly a grant for us. So it was for programs to build their programs. So we built it, and the 1/10 of 1% sales tax passed about a year before we lost funding for that, which really no money from that. They had to build those taxes up before they could start using them. Actually, it was about 6 months before. So that grant ended at the perfect time for the 1/10 of 1%. So
Gotcha.
we were able to continue most of the services like mental health services, additional monitoring services like alcohol monitoring bracelets, which help people that are struggling with alcohol. I mean, we've had people come in and say, I'm really struggling to not drink, and have asked for that as an incentive to keep themselves from drinking, because they know 24 hours a day we can see if they drink alcohol, that kind of stuff. So
these
these
are monitoring bracelets, so is it like?
It's an ankle bracelet.
Oh, okay. Is it like monitor the sweat, or how do they?
Actually the gases that come out of our pores.
Really?
I didn't know our pores could make gases.
Interesting.
But they do, yeah. It does a reading about on increments and kind of sucks in the air around it and checks out if there's alcohol in it.
So is that's probably available just for people in the drug court program, I would assume? Okay.
So, so those are kind of the things, incentives, you know, the gift cards and things like that. Those are the kind of things that the 1.1%. In addition, mostly staff, you know, the case managers for the various programs, and office assistants, so those kinds of things. So it went into effect just right at the perfect time.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of transitioned right into it.
So I'm curious on the bracelet. So is it, so will it measure anything? Like if they have like any alcohol at all, it'll measure.
Yeah, if you have alcohol in your system, we'll measure.
Wow.
We'll also measure atmosphere. So if you have to be, there are things, cleaners that they can't use, and you know that we tell them not to use, but we can go on and we can see if there's any spikes in the alcohol.
Wow.
And other factors on there. We can tell if there's been tampering and stuff like that. But it's a very interesting
That's pretty cool
process.
technology.
Anyways. Yeah, it is cool technology, and it's not the
And he had a
atmosphere
dog sitting with
stuff.
the guy there, he was sitting in a.
You know, the reading is different,
They shared
so we
those
can tell it's
papers
usually
with
really
the
high.
dogs.
Like if they walked into a
So it's
bar,
not-
would have picked that up probably.
Probably not unless somebody spilled alcohol near it.
Okay.
It would have to have the fumes pretty heavy in the air, but you
Okay.
know, spraying cologne.
I mean,
things
they
like
probably
that
shouldn't be in a
would-
bar anyway.
They should
Yeah,
not
it's
be.
it's not-
They're in drug court, bars are off limits.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
be very clear. to
Like
them.
if you're trying to kick the caffeine addiction, we don't want to work in a coffee shop. Just, you
Right,
know, not a good
exactly.
idea.
So bars, smoke shops, those kinds of things are off limits to our clients. They are not allowed to be in there.
That makes sense. Makes sense. So,
My mom and.
how's the new? I'm just trying to think of where to go here. Actually, do you have something you want to cover that we haven't covered? I guess I'm kind of thinking of, but I think we've got something I want to make sure.
Not necessarily in drug court. There is another area that I'm involved in that if you have time.
Let's go there. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, my wife is the artistic director of Sage Rose Northwest.
Oh, cool.
I think you've seen some of their shows out
Yeah.
there.
I haven't been to a show yet. I'd like to. It just seems like
Well, perfect timing because we open in 9 days the Lion in Winter. And I'm in that, so I wanted to.
Very
You know, I thought it
cool.
was good timing to be able to present some of that. You know.
So what's the show about?
It's it's about a king and his 3 sons, and the oldest son has passed away, and so the 3 younger sons are. The king is getting older, and they're vying for who's next in line for the throne. It's kind of a Game of Thrones without the nudity and violence.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But it's a really fun show. I play the middle child, and it's humorous. It's dramatic and humorous, and it's not even necessarily dramatic. It's a fun show. A lot of cunning, a lot of scheming, a lot
Right on.
of people with their own motivations and plans and backstabbing.
And you guys have a Facebook page.
yeah.
You guys have a
Northwest.
website?
There is. It's
Linked on the Facebook page.
It's linked on the Facebook page. If you Google search
So-
Stageworks Northwest, you're gonna see it there. But
And where's your theater at?
It's just down the street here on Commerce. It's the old Longview Cinema.
Yeah.
So they have transformed
Awesome.
it into a live theater. So it's really cool to be in that space. I used to work there. I used to manage that theater back in it was when the first Star Wars of the second trilogy came out. I was
Awesome.
managing then. So it was at 96 or no, I think it was 99. Anyway, I used to manage the theater, so it's really fun to be there
Oh,
again.
sure.
Working on it. My wife works there now, so it's fun to be there and in that environment working on it. And
I remember when it was for sale, and I remember actually at the time being pretty involved in real estate business. I went in with a partner, we looked at it, and it was like, this has got to be a theater. I mean, it was like there was really nothing else you could do with it. So it was kind of cool that
it's
it
perfect.
turned out
I mean,
that
it's
way.
a really cool
Yeah.
time to be working in that theater, and they're right now they're working on trying to get the building paid for and fix it up, remodel it so that because there's no backspace area, we have to kind of create that with us. And so, but the shows are really good. My wife does an excellent job. And I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. She does.
I've heard really good things.
She's got a degree in musical theater, so she knows what she's doing with it. And she
So is
does-
that her full time?
Yeah, that's her job. She's the artistic director there.
Okay, cool.
She's not directing this performance. That's why I'm able to be in it. We have 2 young kids, so it's hard for us both
I
to
bet.
do things.
I
So,
bet.
but she's doing Little Women. She's directing that. It's a musical this spring, and But yeah, 9 to 5 last year did really well. It was really well received.
Oh, that was good.
She was heavily involved in that.
So how do people get tickets? How much are they? Where are they buying them?
Tickets
What's the
are,
show
I
dates?
believe, they're $15 for the tickets. They can buy them online. So if you Google StageWorks Northwest, you can find the link for that. You can also buy them at the box office. If you don't want to buy them online, you can go to the box office before the show opens and buy them. But you risk it selling out. I think that, this isn't a musical. They don't usually sell out as much as musicals do. But you might want to get your tickets early. You can get those online, or the box office opens about 2 hours before the show. So if the box office is open, you can buy them for that night or any night that you want to go. Good person there. It opens Friday the 13th, which I hope is okay. And it plays through Sunday, March 1st. And the shows are Friday and Saturday nights at 7:30 and 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Saturdays.
Yeah. So
Everyone, Steve Thorpe was in the area. I know he
yeah,
was-
I've done several shows. with
Steve's
him.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I've worked with him a couple of times. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
sister.
He always kind of reminded me. I always kind of reminded me of Robin Williams. Just kind of
Well,
way he
Yeah.
talked and kind of a sense of humor and just
Yeah, I can definitely see
yeah, kind of cracked me up. Always like Steve, with him through real estate,
Yeah.
things like that. But, yeah. So he's down in California now.
Yeah.
One of the first.
Yeah. So I'm
Sure,
sure
I follow him on Facebook.
Yeah, same here. Same here. So very cool. So gosh, this was like a lot of fun. So
It is fun, and it's I've done a lot of work with StageWorks, but I usually do it in the summer with the melodramas or in the fall with the murder mysteries. So this is the first kind of season show that I've done.
Well, it's
Yeah.
neat too to see you guys have a place now too. I mean, for so long it was at a school or whatever.
Yeah, we did Peter Pan was the first show we came back with. We did that at the Columbia Theater, but because of booking, they only do one weekend, so you put all this effort into 4 performances, and that's kind of sad.
Oh,
because
sure.
they put a lot of work in. Now we're able to run. 9 to 5 ran 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
So with
awesome.
the smaller non-musical shows, we usually run them 3 weeks. But anything under 3 just feels like you put so much effort into it, and that's when it gets fun. Is when you're running the show and you're out
Oh,
there and
absolutely.
you're doing that in front of the crowd and showing them what you put together. And
Now, I'm curious, is there copyright issues and stuff like if you're doing like a 9 to 5? Do you guys have to pay?
yeah, you pay royalties.
I was curious how that
Yeah.
works. Okay.
There are non-royalty shows. They're older ones like Shakespeare and things like that. It doesn't cost anything to do
That
that.
makes sense.
But yeah, most shows have royalties.
Okay,
I'm
I'm just curious.
Yeah, you put in for it. You said there's a application that you put in saying that we'd like to do the show and when we'd like to do it and how many performances it would be. And then if the royalties are available, then they'll allow you to do it. And you pay them to do the show.
Interesting.
Yeah, but not every show's available. There are shows that my wife has wanted to do. She looks into it, and either the royalties haven't been made available, or the rights haven't been made available, or sometimes shows will get pulled because a touring company is doing them. So to pull the rights so that other theaters can't do the show. So that happens sometimes.
Like something like Cats, it's fairly
Yeah.
recent, probably be a tough one, if not impossible.
Yeah, well, and it happened with Peter Pan. She was going to do it, and they had just pulled the rights to it. And she couldn't get it because there was an American touring company. So she actually was recommended another version from it that turned out really good, and she was able to get the rights to that and do it. So,
Wow, that's
so it's
cool.
the same show. It was just a different script and different music, but it was actually really good. I liked it. It's a good experience because a lot of people know the Peter Pan, and so
Oh,
to see a different production, still the same characters and everything, just like it.
That's cool. And then do you guys work with the schools as far as getting them in there to see it and stuff too?
No, because we don't necessarily do children's theater. It's not. So the schools, it's not something that we would market to the schools.
Sure.
I mean, if we did a show that was a children's theater show, then I'm sure that we would reach out to the schools to get them in there. But
Because I remember as a kid, of course, this was a kid-friendly one, but I remember going watching Annie. It was so cool. We all went down. I was actually in Portland this time, so we went down to the gosh, what's that theater downtown Portland? Keller? Am I saying
Yeah,
that right?
Keller.
Yeah, Keller. Yeah, we're going down there and seeing that and
I
everything.
don't know,
It was cool, and so we're all these years longer. So.
yeah, I remember going to shows at the Columbia Theater when I was in middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So.
But
So actually, okay, so we probably have about another 5 minutes for the opening shout outs. Any more you want to cover on, actually, either, anything, really, either subject or something new? Or?
No, I mean, I want to drive home if anybody's watching this and they are struggling with addiction and they're looking for help. Just reach out. I mean, go look for an NA or an AA group. I mean, you can look up drug court. Google Cowles County Drug Court. Give me a call, or someone in my office, and we'll help point you in the right direction. You know, it's really important because it is a disease that will kill you. And if you want help, I firmly believe it's not your fault, and that if you need help, reach out. There's always somebody. But I would just say walk to the 1414 Club and tell them that you need help, and they'll help you out. There are meetings everywhere in this town.
On 1414, I drive by it quite often because it's the road right back behind here, and I mean, every time I drive by, there's people there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is a lot of people say that Cowles County has a horrible drug problem, and it's true. There is a bad drug problem here, but what comes with it is an awesome recovery community. And I know a lot of people in that recovery community, and it is awesome. And if you need people to help you get clean,
I'm also curious, is our problem any worse than other areas? Some people like to say it's worse here, but is it? I mean, I guess you would know. I mean, you would know the numbers.
Statistics support that.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it is worse than other places, but we're in what's known as a high traffic area, even to the federal government. I-5 corridor is bad.
Sure.
There's a lot of drugs coming up from Mexico and from south, just coming up through this area, and you know, Cowles County is kind of known to be hit pretty hard with it.
Because most of the harder drugs now aren't really being made in people's bathtubs anymore.
No, a lot of it's coming from Mexico and across the border, and
They
they're
can't even make our own drugs anymore. We import those too.
imported doesn't always mean good.
No.
But yeah, so we are in a higher traffic area, but I mean that's the whole I-5 corridor. Sure, is like that. But you know, I grew up in this town. I never experienced anything except the occasional car break-in or vehicle prowl. You know, those happen everywhere. It's you know, it's not unique to our area. So although they are here, it's not a lot of people. Most people can go through their life in this community and never experience that. And I didn't until I got into this line of work.
But you know, it's like.
And I think I noticed it more because people point it out. I mean, like,
Yeah.
when I first came to this area, I didn't really notice like people walking down the street on drugs. And now I do notice it, but it's because I almost feel like it's the, you know, buy a red Volkswagen Beetle and now every car on the street is a red
Right.
Volkswagen Beetle. I think sometimes I mean, but you know, I mean, you know, it does sound like we do have a bigger issue here than some areas, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes it's not as big as people make it seem because, I don't know. Anyway.
And I didn't notice it until I started working at DOC. And
Sure.
I know people that are in recovery or in active addiction. You know, it's a different environment at DOC than it is at Redboard. But I know a lot of people that I think it's made me more appreciative of people, and the qualities that people in recovery have is amazing. People that have worked the 12-step program have remarkable qualities of being introspective about themselves, understanding how their behaviors impact others.
Sure.
And you know, it's remarkable. It's something that I'm kind of envious of, you know.
Well, and if you can take your, and I can think of at least one example of someone I know, but then also I look at my family bloodline, like I said, we've got a lot of people, I think everybody in my family is addicted to something. Some are addicted to work, some are addicted to stuff that's harmful. And so obviously the addicted to work stuff can have some benefit.
Mhm.
I think of a person I know that's a business owner, and he is just maniacal, and he had gotten mixed up in drugs. But he's no longer in, but it seems like that same addiction quality serves him well in his business and the positive he's doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see that parallel? with a
Oh,
lot of-
absolutely. People will turn their addictive nature into NA or AA and become immersed in recovery, and that becomes their addiction. That's a healthy addiction. But you know, if you have a tendency to become addicted, then you have the tendency to become addicted to anything. So we have people that say, well, you know, I was addicted to methamphetamines, but marijuana's not a problem for me. Well, until you are told that you can't do methamphetamines anymore and you start trying marijuana, that becomes your new addiction. So in our program, nothing, no substance is allowed. Caffeine and nicotine we allow, but as far as we don't allow alcohol, we don't allow marijuana, so it's legal now.
Well, it's interesting too when you mentioned that too, that I like but yeah, you know, I totally agree with
And there's a lot of drugs out there that also are, well, they're considered designer drugs, but a lot of them are more harmful because they're unknown. They're made in the laboratory, you know, spice, which is similar to marijuana,
absolutely.
but it's just made in a spray that's sprayed on potpourri, and you smoke that, and it has horrible effects. I mean, people have gotten horrible psychosis from it. I know of somebody who completely snapped and is coming back. They're in a mental hospital
Wow.
because of that.
Well, see, and to me, it just
seems.
seems logical to me that something grown in nature would be better for you than something made.
Yeah, But they use it to
Not
be
to say
able
either is good, but I'm
right,
just
but they
saying.
use it to be able to get away with it, where it's not detectable in a UA or anything like that, unless you have the
That's
right
why.
test, which we
I was
have.
curious
As
why.
long we do have tests and
Okay.
tests for those kinds of
So
things.
like employers and stuff maybe aren't quite caught up to
Right.
that, so that's why they use
But
that.
people,
Interesting.
yeah, but we are able to test for a lot of those.
I know I was gonna go with gateway drugs. You know, people talk about gateway drugs, and my philosophy, and I'd be interested in knowing yours. I mean, or what you guys have learned, but I feel like anything can be a gateway drug. I think it's if you're addictive personality, then anything can be that.
Absolutely.
I don't know if gateways really exist in my mind. I could be wrong, but it feels like
My theory on that, and that's all I have, is that the gateway drugs, marijuana is always called a gateway drug, and I think it is because it being illegal, or it was illegal, and it's still illegal in most of the country and by federal law. But if you're willing to partake in this, which is a lesser of illegal drugs, then you're only a step away from going into
that's more my
harsher
theory. As a
drugs.
person's willing to do something illegal, that's more where
Right. So if you drink younger, you're kind of breaking that law too.
Sure.
So that can be a gateway into it. But
makes sense.
if you're drinking as an adult, it's legal and socially acceptable. It's not necessarily doesn't have that chance of being a gateway drug. So people who use even legal substances for older people, if you use them at a younger age, you're more prone to get into harder
That makes
drugs.
sense.
So
Because they're kind of in that, lack of a better term, kind of in that rebel
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
And so,
So
if you're a rebel here, maybe, hey, I could be a rebel over
yeah,
here too.
so you'll get to a point where it's pushing farther, and you're
Yeah.
using a drug and it
Especially if they
inhibits your ability to reason better and to stop with those. But a lot of people that get into heroin get into it because they've gotten addicted to other minor, opiates, prescribed opiates, and they can't get that anymore. So there's
I think
lots
that
of
is
things that are gateways.
so unfortunate. You think of the drugs that get prescribed to people, and then it turns into an addiction to something illegal, or even them stealing what they
So you have
are trying to
watch
get.
those. You
Yeah,
have to
it's
watch
so
those. I mean,
sad.
if you're
Yeah.
given, nobody should be on a pain opiate their whole life. They should be looking for other remedies for whatever pain they're on. So because that really you will become addicted to opiates. And where do you
I
turn
know
when
I've
you
been
can't get
told
those
that.
anymore? Absolutely. So those are the things people should always be cautious when you're using any kind of mind or body altering substance, including alcohol, caffeine, nicotine.
My
all
nephew
those
told me
you're highly
that.
addicted.
Well, any final thoughts?
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much there,
I
right?
think we are. I just encourage people to get help if they need it. And if you want to see a good show, come to Lion Winter. It opens on February 13th.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much. Hey, Cody,
No,
we are ready for shout outs.
green beans.
I'm pulling up.
All right, you do that.
Well, I have rehearsal at 7.
Ooh.
It's 6:56 right now.
Absolutely.
So do you mind if I
Thank you so
take
much.
off before you
No,
do the shout
go
outs?
for
I
it.
appreciate it. Don't want to be
Yes.
late.
Good to see
So,
you again. Thank you,
everybody.
and have a great show.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to take it.
Yeah.
We have
I get to sit next to this dude right here.
Yeah, well,
Maryland
Short
High.
straw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short straw.
I work for one of us.
she's
There you
a
go.
juvenile.
Yeah.
Okay, just because I'm short.
All
All right, so
He's a chaplain for the council.
who's playing? Candace, who is playing?
Colin Ray,
When?
Saturday.
Colin Ray is playing Saturday. Where?
Bye.
Where?
Okay, there,
Um,
At
Thanks
Columbia
again.
Theater.
7:30.
At 7:30. Contact Columbia Theater for more information.
Tickets are going pretty fast.
Tickets are going fast. If you, yeah.
That
So
was
shout outs.
Yeah, it's pretty good, yes.
Donna from Washington, Ray from Longview, Dane from Germany, Ann from Longview, Rachel from California, Lisa from Kelso, Aaron from Vader, Michael from North Dakota, Renee from New Hampshire, Connie from Cleveland, Connie from Windlock, Debbie from Vancouver, Christine from Longview, Darcy from Longview, Gail from Australia, Vitalis from Kenya, Martha from Tacoma, Susan from England, Jamal from Africa, Stephen from Portland, Rich from Seattle, TJ from the Midwest, Lynn from Victoria, BC, Mark from Pennsylvania, Amelia from Longview, Black Dog Hat in the Acoustic from the UK, excuse me, Paul from Seattle, Gurinar, I do believe, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let me apologize for saying your name is genuine in the last few weeks. From Seattle, Carol from Longview, Avery from Longview, and Jack from Greenville, Ohio.
Needs to be a cat, it's a cat.
Write the list.
It is. So next week's guest is Susan from Rescue Paws. I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say John's the guest, the host. John will be back next week.
All right, sounds good. I'll be back.
All right, thank
It's
you.
Wednesday, right? Wednesday again?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the 17th, are we going to be back to Tuesday on the 17th?
We should be able to know by next week.
Okay. Because I have a scheduling conflict on the 18th. Events on the 18th.
If you can't do it, we'll have somebody do it.
I'll let you know by next week.
Okay, cool.
This guy's just cute.
So join us next week, same time, same place, over here at Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and More, 1232 Commerce. Good milkshakes, good food. So come on down. See you all next week. Thank you all for watching.
And if you're at the 1 yard line, run it.